Hey guys, it's Rachel Castile. Welcome to Heartwork Monday here at Typology Corner. Last week we talked about that you don't have to fix yourself to be loved. And this week I want to stay in the same spirit and talk about something that we all wrestle with, and that is how we treat ourselves in the middle of growth. Sometimes, whenever we're learning about our Enneagram type, it can lead to self awareness, but also self judgment can creep in and we can begin to criticize ourselves. And we end up weaponizing the insight we get in knowing our type and using it as proof that we're not growing fast enough. And here's the thing, real growth isn't in fixing yourself, it's in befriending yourself, in befriending your pattern, loving what you're seeing, and learning to live with it, to speak to it, to walk with it. And ultimately, that's choosing self compassion instead of self criticism. So, today we're going to look at the difference between what self criticism sounds like, that voice in your head, and then what does self compassion sound like, and also what that looks like for all of the 9 Enneagram types. Like, what is their unique journey with how criticism shows up and what self compassion looks like. So, let's get into the voice part. So, the voice inside. Self criticism, what does it sound like? In general, it says things like, you should be further along. You always do this. You're too sensitive. You should be stronger by now. I've heard these voices a lot. Does this resonate with you? It kind of sounds like it's a productive voice coaching you along, but is it really helping you grow? No, it's actually rooted in fear, not healing. It's not helping you. It's making you shrink. It's making you pull back, check yourself. And the forward motion, it comes out of fear. It comes out of like, I don't want to be judged. I'm ashamed of myself. I'm trying to change myself. Yeah. It shows up. It could be something as simple as you didn't wake up on time. You didn't do the thing you set out to do. And now, like, look at you. Your whole day's thrown off because of what you chose to do with your time. I've heard that a lot. And I have to remember, like, not to let this voice coach me. Yeah. And looking at self-compassion, it's totally different. So, first off, it doesn't ignore your pattern. It's not denial, but it stays with you through it. It stays with you in reality, in the truth of what's happening, and walks with you like a companion. Self-compassion sounds like, yes, this is hard, but you're still doing beautifully. Yes, you slipped, but you're still worthy of love. Yes, you're scared, but you still get to move forward. See, self-compassion is not being alone. It's learning how to love yourself, how to walk with yourself. It's having a relationship with yourself that's positive, that's encouraging in what you're seeing. Because yes, the Enneagram can be kind of revealing, exposing. You can feel kind of naked when you're seeing your patterns, but this is why it's so important. And I want to bring this topic out that as you learn about your type, it's important to love yourself, to love what you're seeing, to befriend yourself, to befriend your pattern. Yeah, that you're not trying to do away with what you are, but to love yourself through how you've processed life, to see your tendencies and to give yourself grace. So now let's look at what does self-compassion look like for each of the types. So starting with type 1 down through type 9. For type 1, they are the reformer or the perfectionist, and your inner critic can be ruthless, always scanning for what needs to be better. It can be seeing the flaws, seeing how you didn't measure up. Yeah, and it's that harsh inner critic that's shaping you up. So for type 1, this is something, it shows up for all types, but I would say for type 1, it's very maybe stereotypical how you would imagine self-criticism. But yeah, it's always scanning for what needs to be better. But self-compassion says, this moment is good enough. I am good enough. That's acknowledging you're already good. You don't have to do it perfect to consider yourself good. It's being able to live at peace, to live at rest with the now you. Peace doesn't require perfection. You get to rest now. Next, for type 2 is the helper, the giver. And you pour into others to feel loved, but deep down you wonder, am I only lovable when I'm needed? Yeah, this is the self-criticism that stops the heart from experiencing love without having to do something, without, when you're trying to not be dispensable. You want people to need you because that makes you worthy. That makes you have value. So it keeps you needing to show up, needing to do something, keeps you in motion. And it's actually a wall where your heart's not receiving love. It feels like it has to earn it in some way. But self-compassion for type 2s, it sounds like I don't have to earn love by being useful. I can let love come in. I can receive it now. I can be still and receive what I need in this moment. Yeah. So let yourself be held this week, not just helpful. This is my type. I feel like every time I mention type 2, I'm like, this is me. This is me. But yeah, I got to remind myself how this shows up for me. It's like I can be present. I don't have to do something to be present. I don't have to, honestly, I have some type 1 in me, because it's one of my wings. But yeah, I can relate to type 1, 2, and 3. But yeah, I can feel like if I don't do it right, then I got to start over. I can't make a mistake. And as a dominant type 2, it's like, am I showing up for others? Am I helping others? Versus it's like letting myself be needy. I think that's where the biggest revealing thing is. It's like, I need love. I need to like vocalize that. I need to prioritize what my actual needs are. So yeah, and that can look like I need to be held. I need somebody to hold space for me. That's how it shows up. That can feel very selfish. Yeah. And it's not. It's letting myself be loved. Yeah. Next, type 3, the achiever. You measure your worth by what you produce. Slowing down feels like failure. Yeah. The achiever, the performer. Yeah. This is my dominant wing, is type 3. By what I produce, I gotta export, gotta show up, gotta produce something that makes me successful. Or otherwise I'm failing. I struggled with this a lot. I backed away from content over seeing how attached I was to it. Now that I can show up and like still have to remind my heart, like I can just be myself. I can just be present. It doesn't have to be this work that I'm having to produce so perfectly. Yeah. But yeah, for type 3, you measure your worth by what you produce. Slowing down feels like failure. But self-compassion says your worth doesn't disappear when you stop performing. Even in rest, I am enough. Yeah. My worth doesn't disappear when I stop performing. Even in rest, I am enough. So yeah, receive that. Yeah. What's really on your heart, what you really need to talk about. You're worthy. You're loved apart from what you do, apart from what you create, apart from what you produce in the world, or how well you show up in the world, how you look, all those things. Yeah, they don't define you. Yeah. So in a way, you'll hear all of these types returning to rest. That's what self-compassion does. It's like you can rest, you can receive what you need apart from the pattern. Yeah. I'll even say right now, like, this is a bit of off topic, but just thank you guys for walking on my journey with me. Cause like, as I'm doing this content, like, my journey is unfolding right now, like from video to video. I'm experiencing how to stay present with myself, how to love myself as I do what I do, that it not be a performance. So, yeah. Next, type 4, the individualist. You feel deeply and you wonder, am I too much? Is my emotion too much? Am I too much for people? Yeah. This is what self-criticism sounds like. It pulls them back, showing them that withdrawing is the better thing to do versus being all that they are, being in their emotion and staying connected in their authenticity. So self-compassion, though, it lets you feel everything without turning against yourself. You're not too much. You're beautifully human. Yeah, so self-compassion is embracing yourself and not turning away from yourself, not pulling away, going into shame. It's just knowing that your humanity is what makes you beautiful. You're the most aware of the heart space. You're the most aware of your own emotions and what it feels like to be human in all the different shades. So, yeah, the depths of you is what makes you so beautiful and unique. Yeah, you're not too much. So, yeah, the more that you can speak to yourself and love yourself as you're feeling deeply, and you can share that, you can live in it, you can stay authentic, and you can stay present. You can rest in what you are and communicate that. Yeah. And then type 5. Type 5 is the investigator. Another term for type 4 is the romantic, the individualist. But yeah, for type 5, the investigator. You stay self-contained to avoid overwhelm. But that isolation, it can become a prison. Yeah. The conservation of energy. Also being afraid that your needs will be a burden. So it's like that self-reliance, self-containedness. Yeah, to avoid being overwhelmed, to avoid being depleted by others. But that isolation, it can become a prison. This is very easy for a 5 to find themselves in this place. Yeah. So it sounds a little bit different than like a criticism of self, but in a way it is. It's like it's limiting the self. It's pulling the self back. It's withdrawing away from presence. But self-compassion says for type 5, it's okay to need help. It's okay to not have the answers. You're still worthy even when you're empty. Yeah, you're still worthy to be in the moment, to stay connected when you feel like you don't have the answers. That's another aspect, type 5, pulling away to become an expert, to research, to prepare themselves to feel ready to show up in the world, to take care of themselves, to not be a burden, all those things. It's okay to need help. It's okay to not have all the answers. You're still worthy, even when you're empty. When you feel like you don't have anything to give, you're still worthy to be present. You're not going to be depleted. Yeah. You have what this moment needs, and it's just you. It's you. You don't have to have something extra to be in this moment. Yeah. Now for type 6, the loyalist, the guardian, you're always bracing for what could go wrong. And sometimes that fear turns inward. Yeah. It pulls you away from being able to hear that inner voice. It causes you to lock onto external things to find a sense of stability, a sense of security, certainty, to manage fear that you're experiencing. Yeah. Scanning for what could go wrong and preparing to make sure that it doesn't can be a state that this is what that self-judgment, that self-criticism can lead you into whenever you're not inwardly guided anymore. But self-compassion says you're doing the best. I have it written in an I statement. I'm doing the best I can. I'm allowed to trust myself. I'm doing the best I can. I'm allowed to trust myself. I can trust my instincts. I can trust my inner voice again. You don't have to fix everything to feel safe. Yeah, you don't have to have every answer to everything. You're already safe. You can be inwardly guided. You can rest. You don't have to scan the horizon for all the negative things that could happen. You're safe. You can rest. And you can trust your inner voice again. For type 7 is the enthusiast, the adventurer, different words. You chase what's next to avoid what's painful. But healing asks us to stay. Yeah. You chase what's next to avoid what's painful, but healing asks us to stay. This is also a fear-based response, a fear of being trapped in painful emotions, not knowing how to process it like it's forever. Yeah. So it's like mentally escaping into the positive, into good experiences, planning ahead, planning good things. So it's like looking out for the self, and staying away from the pain. But self-compassion says, it's okay to feel sad. I'm safe even here. I'm still safe whenever I feel my real emotions, when I feel how something made me feel, whenever I let myself process, I let myself grieve, I let myself see the pain in the world. I'm safe here too. Yeah, you don't have to outrun your emotions. Yeah. You're stronger than you think. And there's lessons in it that is very beautiful, that your heart can be very grateful for as well. Yeah. And that there's beautiful things in the present to be discovered, and it won't be an entrapment. It won't be something that's just feels like quicksand. It's actually something that you can wade through, be present with, and find joy into. And this is like a freedom type, freedom and joy. And there's joy in the real, joy in reality of the full spectrum of emotion. Yeah. And for type 8 is the challenger. You lead with strength, but you guard your most tender places. Yeah. This is connected to having to have this sentence is funny. This is connected to when you were young, having to be strong, having to grow up fast, to protect your vulnerable places. So it's the response of being strong. So in a way, like they kind of became an adult very quickly in a way. And they begin to guard their tender places. That's what seems like the right thing to do for a type 8. But self-compassion says you can be vulnerable and still powerful. You don't need armor to be worthy. Yeah. That actually your greatest strength is your vulnerability, is your innocence, is that childlikeness that's under the strong exterior. And that, yeah, you're still worthy, and that being weak isn't shameful. Yeah. And then for type 9, the peacemaker, you keep peace around you, but sometimes abandon yourself. Yeah. The peace, wanting unity, wanting harmony. The downfall is type 9s achieving that at the expense of themselves, at the expense of their own voice, their own perspectives, their own desires, their own goals. Staying connected through erasing, through going to sleep to the self in a way. But self-compassion says your voice matters, your needs are allowed. Yeah. I relate it to this. Like, I'm a type 2, and this aspect of type 9 is kind of how a 2 and a 9 can maybe struggle to notice their type of which one that they are. But yeah, your voice matters. Your voice matters. Your needs are allowed. It's worth you speaking up. It's worth you saying something that's a little bit different than the people in the room, and for them to absorb it and to feel like, okay, you just introduced something different. Yeah, you can care about yourself. Although you notice other people and the value of others, it's very important that you begin to make choices for yourself in the midst of wanting peace, because it's fake peace. It's not real if it was achieved through the erasing of yourself. It's not actually happiness. Yeah. You're not here to disappear. You're here to take up space, rightfully so. Own your space, take your stage. Yeah. So that's the type 9 journey of coming into self-compassion. And yeah, so you don't have to hate yourself into healing. That's the moral of all of this. You don't have to hate yourself. As you see these things, as you see the tendencies of your type, as they come up, you can see them happening. You can see your heart tendencies. You can see that the current of your heart going where it's familiar, going to what is comfortable. Honestly, all these types, the first part of what I read for each of the types, that's what's comfortable. Yeah. It's comfortable for 8 to be strong and to guard and to protect the tender place. Like, it's to not really show that. It's not safe in the world to be that way. I could be betrayed. Yeah. It's easy for the 9 to abandon themselves. It's easy for the 7 to avoid pain, to run into pleasure. The 6 to scan the horizon for what's wrong, to allow fear to guide what they do. Type 6 to avoid being overwhelmed or depleted, to try to conserve energy. Type 4 to go, I'm too much, and to withdraw, to not really let themselves be present with their emotions with people. Type 3 to feel that my worth is attached to what I produce. Like, when you see this stuff coming up in you, these things are going to happen. This is what's comfortable. This is what feels most natural. Like, this is not having to be uncomfortable. I can just do the pattern of my type, Type 2 to feel that when I pour into others, I feel loved. So I need to pour into people. I need to give. I need to push my needs down. I need to not be needy. Flip the attention back on others. Type 1 to criticize themselves, to scan for what they could do better, to aim for perfection all the time. These things are going to come up. They're going to show up when you're triggered. But yeah, you can't hate that part of yourself when you see it. You have to show it compassion. You have to sit with it and be like, okay, this is my type. This is coming up. I have other options. Yeah. You can grow with warmth. You can stay connected to yourself even in the moment you'd normally shut down. Seeing these things, you can shut down. You can beat yourself up. You can go, I'm doing it again. It's so easy to have that negative self-talk, but you get the opportunity to make a different choice when you see these things, and to know that your heart needs to hear something, and you can begin to tell it to yourself. That's what self-compassion looks like. You can tell yourself the affirmation you need to believe the truth that you need to live from now. And honestly, like, yeah, I encourage you to actually make affirmations. Affirmations have changed my world. I listen to them. I record affirmations, and then I listen to those, listen to myself saying them. I sleep with it playing over me. I listen to them in my car. Yeah, it's like listening for what does self-compassion look like, and begin to change your self-talk. Yeah. So as a quick final run through, I'm going to read the compassion line of each type one after the other. This is what the good self-talk sounds like. For type 1, this moment is good enough. I am good enough. Type 2, I don't have to earn love to be useful. I can let love in. Type 3, my worth doesn't disappear when I stop performing. Type 4, it's let yourself feel everything without turning against yourself. You're not too much. You're beautifully human. Type 5, it's okay to need help. It's okay to not have the answers. You're still worthy even when you're empty. Self-compassion for type 6, I'm doing the best I can. I'm allowed to trust myself. Type 7, it's okay to feel sad. I'm safe here. I'm safe even here. Type 8, I can be vulnerable and still powerful. Type 9, my voice matters. My needs are allowed. Whichever one resonated with you, make an affirmation out of it. I love ChatGPT, and you can take your tendencies like this and ask it, can you create an affirmation that would help me as a type 2? Because I struggle with X, Y, and Z. And yeah, I've done that to help me affirm and talk to myself properly in these moments, because life's going to give you tons of tests to see how you see yourself. What do you believe about yourself? It could be interactions from different people. You have people who might actually just like getting under your skin. And what you believe about yourself is going to show up. That self-criticism, whenever it speaks, whether it comes at you from an outside voice or an internal place. It's like, how do you speak to yourself? That's what's most important. How do you treat yourself in the face of these experiences? So yeah, I encourage you to be intentional about your self-talk, and to give yourself grace as you see the fact that you do criticize yourself a lot. Like, you've got to start from where you are. So yeah. So self-compassion, it isn't weak. It's the strength to stay with yourself, to observe yourself as you are, to give yourself love, and then to ask yourself, what do I need to hear right now? What does my heart need to know? And then giving that to yourself. So I just want to ask you, what would it look like to grow with kindness instead of pressure this week? Reflect on that in your own journey. What would it look like to grow with kindness instead of pressure this week? Maybe journal on that. Yeah. And if that question starts something in you, drop a comment below. I'd love to know what your Enneagram type is if you do know it. If you don't know your type, which type you resonated with, which one hit home the most, and then what does self-compassion look like for you right now? What area of your heart self-criticism is like really laying in on? And then what does self-compassion look like in response to that? What does it look like for you to be a companion to yourself, to be kind to yourself, to walk with yourself in what you're seeing? Yeah, what does self-compassion and grace look like? I'd love to hear it in the comments. And also subscribe so that you don't miss next week's Heart Work Monday. Every Monday I talk about the Enneagram, which is this heart space of our patterns, and guiding you through how to love yourself, how to I'm going to get into some more stuff. I'm thinking of some topics, but I'll get to those topics. You'll see what they are. But yeah, I want to get into like boundaries. Like, what does it look like for each of the types? Like, what does health look like? I'm defining health and love, self-acceptance progressively from different angles. And yeah, guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. Any feedback on the content I'm creating, how it's like hitting home for you. I'm liking exploring these like topics through the lens of the Enneagram. That it's practical because we have real life things that we're all experiencing, and based on our Enneagram type, we process life a little bit differently. So I like to show the full spectrum. And but yeah, guys, if this is something that you've enjoyed, if you've gotten value out of this video today, definitely subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram. All the links are in the description below for social media. Also, my website, if you're interested in being typed. If you're not sure what your Enneagram type is but would like to know, head to my website, typologycorner.com. And I also coach people based on their type. So yeah, check out the website. There's a lot of information there if that's something that you're interested in. And then also share this with someone that you see is having trouble loving themselves or being hard on themselves in their journey. Maybe this video will be exactly what their heart needs to hear. And yeah, guys, if you got value out of this, go and give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate knowing that it made an impact as well. And yeah, that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.